just got some more packages. Careful not to damage anything. Ooh, what do we have here? Some nice line. That's the sail lacing. Ooh, this is all the line from the boat. Some cleats, 150mm mooring cleats. Got 4 of those. There's the main sheet there. We've got some reefing lines, 3 different colours for that. And some halyard and downhaul. And here's all the expensive stuff. All the blocks. Fiddle blocks. Other tiny little blocks. Oh, they're wee little cheap blocks, aren't they? These are for the reefing lines. They're smaller than I thought. Shackles. Look at that block with a becket. That is the smallest little thing I've ever seen. Hopefully it's strong enough. Working load 250 kilograms. Yeah, should be. Let's see what we have in this one. Scrabble. This isn't boat stuff. I'll dry fit the centerboard. She's in there. It was a huge pain in the ass to actually align the hole of the centerboard with the hole in there where it goes through the case. What I ended up doing was making this thing. I got the centerboard approximately in position and then sort of like moved it around as I poked this in the hole. And because the tip is tapered, you know, if it was even a little bit lined up, then I could kind of stick this in and wiggle it around and push it in. As I pushed it in further and further, it got closer and closer to the actual size of the hole, so it sort of lined the centerboard up more. Then I just kind of like wedged the centerboard in position, took this thing out, and then put the actual pin in. What I want to do now is mark on the centerboard where the rope is going to go in. It should be somewhere around there. The uphaul for the centerboard go from here through a hole in the front of the case, out here, and on a block, this thing, and forwards again to a fiddle block and a block with a becket and then a cleat. That's the point. I've decided, not that vertical line, but just slightly in. This is 65 down from the level of the top of this wood, and this is 44 wide, so we want to go 22 in plus 9 is 31, but it kind of bends in here a little, so we want to be about 30 from the edge. Well, I'm not that good at drilling accurate holes apparently, because I went a little bit low of my mark, but I think that should be okay. And it was basically exactly on in this direction, which was the most important thing. Got a pencil here, trying to draw a mark on the centerboard where the rope needs to go through. Better idea. I've put a piece of aluminium tubing in here. It's 10mm by 1, so there's an inner diameter of 8mm. This metal tube will be in this hole to guide the line through. The plan said copper, but could aluminium hurt? I don't know. We'll see. I got an 8mm bit on here, and I'm just going to pop it in and drill a little bit so it marks it. That'll make a mark. I got a bit of texture mark here indicating where I want to drill the hole. Here's the front of the centerboard case, sits here, and the line will be coming in this way. And I want the place where you put the rope through to go maybe there-ish. It's basically the same system as on the rudder, the downhaul for the rudder. The line comes in here, it sort of goes in, and then you drill in from the side a larger hole so that you can tie a knot in that. Just put the drill bit in the hole so I could continue this line where the hole goes, so I know where to drill my hole this way. And there's the mark right there. I only want to go in about 18mm, which is half the width of the centerboard on this cut, so I've moved the tape there. I think I'm going to have to drill this hole out a bit. This is my 6mm line. It just doesn't want to go in. I'm never going to get it around that corner. Well, that fits a lot better. So I'll just have to counterbore a little bit here so I can tie a knot and it can sit in and not go all the way through. Maybe 12? We'll see. We'll start with 12. Turns out the only 12mm drill bit I have is this one, which is pretty much impossible to center on the existing hole for obvious reasons. But I do have this router. So I've put a thin little square cut bit in there and I've set the depth to 15mm and I'll just slowly widen that hole. It's going to need to be bigger than that. Almost. I think that will do. I melted the trimmed off end a bit there as well, sort of so it kind of sticks to the outside fibers of the other part of the knot. So this knot, I hope, should never come undone. Otherwise I won't be able to pull up Centreboard, which would be annoying. Now that I've got all the proper lines, I can correctly size the rudder line fittings as well, because I tested it with 4mm lines, so I don't think they'll fit. Definitely does not fit in that hole. I'll just enlarge it a bit. This tube is supposed to fit in this hole and guide the centerboard hole. It's actually a really tight fit. It's a 10mm hole and this is a 10mm tube. So you can get it in, but it's a huge pain. And there won't be any room for epoxy. Luckily for me, a few years ago, I bought this 10.5mm drill bit. Oh, fits in real nice now. Now this tube that the centerboard hole passes through needs to have one end rounded over and smooth, presumably so that the centerboard hole doesn't catch against a sharp edge. And I've kind of come up with a technique of how to do this using a reasonable amount of brute force and a poor man's lathe. This drill, I start off with getting this center punch and it just incidentally is a pretty good size. Just shoving it in there, whacking it a bunch. Bends it out a little bit. Oh, you might be able to see. Just bends it out a little bit, just so the tube doesn't fall back through the hole. Once it's been sufficiently beaten and we've got a little bit of a lip, chuck in the drill. High speed. Just get a little bit of sandpaper. I'm just sort of trying to round over that edge a bit. And once you've done that for a little while, you should have a pretty nice lip. So I've remounted the centerboard. And we have the centerboard uphaul coming out the front of the centerboard case here, but it needs to come around here and go over to there, and there's a series of blocks which give it a 4-to-1 purchase and a cleat. We have this little mini block which will go somewhere there. It'll redirect this line around this corner. I can't just screw it in directly because for some reason it sticks at the bottom there, so I just need to make a couple of little rises there. I bought a few chopping boards because I thought they'd make good material for the hatch dogs, but I got this one spare, so I think I'll use this. It's waterproof, won't corrode, and should be tough enough, so why not? Well, that's this turning block screwed on for now. Drilling the hole for the eye bolt, this fella, in the aft end of the centerboard case. Have I hit a screw? Hit something hard. Turns out there's a screw in this hole somehow. I guess I screwed in this way when I was securing the bulkhead to the centerboard case, or the other way around. Anyway, I can't drill through that, and I can't get it out because it's in there somewhere, and who knows. So I was going to put the eye bolt here and the cleat down here, but it looks like I'm doing the opposite now. Well, let's hope that there's not another screw here. That would annoy the shit out of me. Looks like we're good, and we're through. Next time I'm going to take all the screws out. I'm not going to leave any screws in. Get some nice big washers on there to distribute the force. So this is going to go like that. I'm not sure we have enough rope here, but I'll deal with that later. And the cleat will go there. Now I've got the cleat around the right way. Well, we can see the whole mechanism here. And that cleat, it holds it off. Pull it all the way up. It's not easy. It's basically up.